What's going on, my Evolve St. Louis County fam? So I'm your girl Kelly, and I'm here to give you the lowdown, the rundown on what happened in St. Louis County government this week because my job is to attend the meeting, so you don't have to. That's right. So I attended 2 meetings this week, and I'm gonna get right into it. So the first meeting I attended was the St. Louis County Council meeting. I did want to highlight a couple of the communications that were submitted by council members and yeah, and even same page. So county exec same page. So first and foremost, there was a communication submitted by the 4th District Councilwoman Webb, a proposed 3-lot commercial subdivision at Newhalls Ferry and Mill Avenue, Mehl Ave. I'm probably butchering that street name. Right now, it's currently vacant, but the owner developer is subdividing the property into 3 lots for commercial development. So, just an FYI. Also, the 1st and 4th District Council women, so that's Councilwoman Days as well as Councilwoman Webb, requested the preparation of legislation to create a minority owned enterprise and women owned enterprise program across all St. Louis County government departments. So, County Council exec Sam Page, he did a Mutombo, y'all. He did a Mutombo by vetoing Bill number 50, which had been passed by the County Council. And the bill reduced coin appropriated to the general fund by $150,000. And it was done intentionally to eliminate lobbyist positions at the state level for St. Louis County. So there was a vote to overturn this Mutombo Act. And, the council members that wanted to overturn the veto, they felt that, if the legislation really did pass, that it would make a statement by ensuring that the lobbyists represented the interests of all of St. Louis County and just not a selected few. The council members that were for the veto, that were for the Mutombo action, including County Exec Sam Page, they're really arguing the importance of having lobbyists representing the interests of St. Louis County and Jefferson City, especially when we're talking about the with regards to public health, right? So all in all, they did the vote. The veto, it did not get overturned. So the Mutombo Act, it was successful. As again, you need at least 5 votes to overturn a veto. And in the vote, it was split, as it always seems to be when we're talking about some of these debated pieces of legislation. So you've got Days, Fitch, Webb, and Harder versus Dunaway, Clancy, and Tracus. So that was that. Then we're going to move ahead to the final passage of bills. So there were 4 bills that were unanimously passed by the county council, meaning everybody voted yes to approve them. And I'm going to highlight a few of them. So the first, Bill 44, which will create some prairie land at Creve Coeur Park. The second, Bill 62, will distribute just over $4 million from non-allocated balances of various funds to complete projects that hadn't been completed in 2020. Bill number 63 authorizes the acceptance of a grant of up to $125,000 to support the St. Louis Household Hazardous Waste Program. Bill number 65 approves the replacement of bridge number 105 and the widening and the establishment of a public road, which will be known as Hudson Drive. And this lies completely in unincorporated St. Louis County in the 4th District, which is in North County. So also on the final passage list was bill number 51. In the bill, it was held. And so to revisit, this bill is regarding the merit pay increases for St. Louis County employees. So a pause on that for now. Then there are a couple of resolutions that were presented during the meeting. I'm going to mention one of them. And this resolution, was brought forth by 3rd District Councilman Fitch. And the resolution expresses the county's lack of confidence in the county counselor's office. And the resolution was passed, again, along that pretty typical split we're seeing these days. So Days, Fitch, Webb, and Harder voted to pass the resolution, and then Dunaway, Clancy, and Trachis voted against it. So again, 4 is more than 3. So that resolution passed. So moving right along to the second meeting I attended, which was the Justice, Health, and Welfare meeting, which happened last night. And the purpose was to discuss the Teneo Report. And the purpose of that report, and I quote, is to convey findings and actionable opportunities for the St. Louis County Police Department to reduce crime, improve internal and external relationships, and increase community trust in the police. So this report is, 40 or 50 pages, somewhere in there. So if you really feel so obliged and inclined to read the report, you can. It's made publicly available. But yeah, it was released in December of 2020. So there were quite a few folks that attended the meeting. In addition to county council members, you had various representatives from the St. Louis County Police Department, some folks from HR, So one of those folks that were representing the police department was Lieutenant Colonel Troy Doyle. And something that he really uplifted and highlighted from the report, there are a few things. So one, he wanted to make sure and acknowledge, this was the first thing that he mentioned, was that systemic racism exists in the St. Louis County Police Department. So that was the first thing that he mentioned. Something else he highlighted from the report was that even after the passing of Proposition P, which, voters passed, which would provide additional funding to the police department, there were still issues with getting some of those additional resources. The main thing officers requested was having 2-man cars in North County, and the officers are still waiting for this to happen. Lieutenant Colonel Doyle also mentioned issues around diversity training, and he also mentioned issues around increasing the transparency of data being provided that breaks down different outcomes and things by demographics, especially by race. So Chief Mary Barton, she was present as well, along with Lieutenant Colonel Kenneth Gregory, the Deputy Chief of Police, as well as, like I mentioned, a representative from the Human Resources HR Department. Chief Barton mentioned that there's a document that has been drafted really focusing on, okay, we did this report. These are the recommendations. These are the recommendations that we are going to prioritize, right? And actually act on to really make the changes in the police department. However, she mentioned that this document has not been presented to the Board of Police Commissioners yet. And so, as a professional courtesy, she wasn't going to discuss the document until the board viewed the document. So there are a number of questions, but she did agree with Lieutenant Colonel Doyle's his observations and some of the important things he raised regarding the results from the Teneo Report. There were a number of questions posed to the group by the council members, really great questions around policies and processes, again, the transparency of the demographic data, and how to really go about changing the culture of the police department. And these questions weren't really answered because there are a lot of technical difficulties in the room with the police chief, the deputy police chief, and the HR rep. So the HR rep even attempted to give a presentation, but it really didn't, he wasn't able to complete it because everything kept freezing up. So again, great questions, but most of them weren't answered because of technical difficulties. So the questions will be recorded and sent to the chief, and the answers will be provided and made available to the public as well as the council members. And it was also agreed that a follow-up meeting will occur once the chief is able to meet with the board to discuss the document prioritizing the next steps from the Teneo Report. So yes, that's all I have for y'all this week. The St. Louis County Council is on spring break next week, so their next meeting will not be until the following week. So I won't be here at the same time, the same place, but I have a feeling y'all still gonna see me. So until then, please stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you soon. Peace.